again, you know, you can't talk about Classic Tetris without bringing up Jonas, R.I.P. Jonas. But, you know, Jonas and Joseph, that match, you know, it's still like being, last time I checked on YouTube, it's at 16 million views on YouTube. That match, which has just been the catalyst of so many people getting into Classic Tetris. It's absolutely amazing. And, you know, I gotta wonder, you know, Jonas, you know, looking down from above at us and, you know, just seeing what the level of play has gotten at this point. By the way, I did mention, that's right. I told myself when I would start doing commentary for this, I wouldn't be blaming RNG. I'll be blaming Jonas right now because I'm sure he's the one controlling all the pieces that we get now, right?
Yeah. I genuinely believe that might be the case. And
yeah,
you know, I also want to say, Asta is an ice cream scooper. I can appreciate that. I wonder where he works and what his favorite ice cream is. I feel like if you work around ice cream all the time, you probably have a pretty distinguished favorite.
Ice cream scooper, huh? Man, now I'm hungry for ice cream. Thanks. Gonna get myself some ice cream.
All right, so both players are ready, Chris. Or I'm sorry, James. I don't know where I got Chris from. That was last weekend. But yeah, we have Andy on the left.
Tetris for Jeff.
Yeah, and Asta on the right. And let's do it and get it counted down for this Group F final.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, looking at our odds prediction here, it says Pixel Andy is the strong favorite with an 88% chance of winning. Well, Asta was the one who sent him out, and so, you know, you could see a little bit of a change in demeanor and all the other matches that we saw from Andy on stream. He was smiling, like he seemed like he was having a good time and everything like that. Suddenly, well, okay, smiles coming back a little bit, but, you know, obviously, this is the man who sent him out, sent him to losers bracket, so he knows he's got a fight coming ahead of him right now.
I see his brother floating around there, probably either talking smack or supporting words, maybe a mix of both. If I were to have
smack.
the proper,
I'm gonna go with smack.
if my hypothesis is correct here, but okay, this should be a great match. The best set of the tournament, or of Group F so far today, was between these two. We had a decider and winners that came down to a double max out, I believe. So,
dang.
See what happens here. And something worthy to note is every so far on Classic Tetris 2, we have only had bracket reset double sweeps from Richie double sweeping Meme and Hufflepuffus double sweeping Sodium coming back from losers bracket. So will Andy?
So it's 3-0-3-0 from the loser side every time, huh?
Yep.
Dang.
Will Andy carry on that tradition here?
Well, if anyone can do it, it's definitely Andy. Now he just needs that, Asta needs that J piece. They're not giving him the J, finally. There it is, okay. Able to clean out and get himself for the Tetris, boom Tetris for Asta. Okay. Now a situation here for Andy. Okay, that's perfect piece right there. And actually, that was all perfect right there. Again, one of those times where the RNG blesses you and you're just like, as an OCD human being, you know, it's just when you get that RNG, there's something so satisfying about that. Actually, really interested in that. That would be an interesting stat to see how many Tetris players consider themselves OCD, because I feel like this game is just like, is the OCD player's dream game, you know? Getting these clean builds and such. Oh, we got an SZ spam. This is not good for Andy. Forced himself into a couple of really uncomfortable columns over here. All right. Should be able to clean himself out of here. And boom Tetris for Asta. So now Asta with the lead. So he's doing well over here. Again, Andy will be just fine. It's just the cleaning situation that he has to do at this point in time. A little unfortunate, but he's just going to go for these row 3 Tetrises, so he'll be good. And now here we go. Actually, he's going to maintain this. Okay, interesting. I thought he was going to start going for the clean at that point in time, but nope. Here he goes. He's just sticking with it, but create himself a little bit of an overhang. Yeah, so he's going to have to... He just didn't get the right pieces for the overhang that he had created over there. Oh, nicely done. Beautiful placement of that eyepiece horizontally like that was really nicely done. But at this point in time, Andy needs that long bar. There he goes. Boom, Tetris for Andy. But you can see they're neck and neck. The Tetris rates are basically the same at this point in time. So despite all that cleaning that Andy had to do, Asta unable to build up enough of a lead to be able to make that cleaning up period significant. Here we go, Asta, 72% Tetris rate here. Both of them about to get to about 100 lines at this point. And boom, Tetris for Asta. And again, here's a situation for Andy where he has an interesting build. See how he's going to handle this? Yeah, he just takes the triple and cleans out that column over there on the left. And so now Andy back to trying to getting a clean field and get some Tetrises at this point. He is at 63%, but you can see from Asta's side over here. And this is interesting now because if Asta could maintain this lead and let's say he takes game number 1, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Andy's side. You know, one of the things I like to talk about is, you know, the competitive mentality of the players while they're playing this and nerves and these kind of things kicking in because it's such a factor in these tournaments. If Asta can take game number 1 against Pixel Andy, who he sent to loser's bracket, that can definitely get into Andy's head. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, I feel like Andy, like you said, he's smiling a bit. He's getting into a better mental state. I think he'll be able to, whether it's game 1 or not, I think he'll be able to overcome the pressure there. He's got...
That was such a beautiful adjustment for Asta right there. He was just going to clean out, but he realized he got 2 back-to-back eyepieces, so he immediately set himself a Tetris with a little micro adjustment at the end. It was beautiful. We've got the transition here.
Andy, actually, with a lower transition there, just about a 508K transition for Andy and a, was it 580 transition for Asta around there? And yeah, this is what Asta needs to try and take it home here.
Great pieces for Andy right now, but now he's getting a drought. He needs that long bar. Where is the long bar? Yep. Oh, perfect in time, just in time. And he's gonna get another one, but 2 Tetrises here at transition speed. So 58% versus 69%. Little by little right now, Asta is building up that score lead. Still about, oh, actually, no, they're at the same line count. So that 100,000 point lead right now is a true lead for Asta. Andy has to play aggressively, but at the same time, Asta can't let off the brake. He cannot let off the brake at this point, especially against a player of Andy's caliber.
Well, Andy is getting a minor drought right when the long bar comes. He has to cover the well for a moment.
Of course. But he's still looking good here.
Yeah.
He needs that long bar again. Where is it? Okay, the beautiful burn right there.
Amazing.
Good tuck. Another burn, but again, another drought, but boom, Tetris for Andy. There we go. And you can see right now on Asta's side here, not a particularly clean board because the game refused to give him the J piece in time. So he is in a rough situation right now. He has a life lead that, okay, can he? Oh, perfect. Okay, Asta's still gonna be alive here.
Oh,
he's still in a good situation. Yeah. And in fact, he's Tetris ready.
Andy had a bit of some issues to go through there too, and he's handling it. This is a great matchup. Andy wasn't able to really make too much of a dent there, but very slowly. He's only behind by 70K now. As I say that.
Where's the eyepiece again? There it is. Boom, Tetris, simul Tetris now. And at level 26, we're nearing the kill screen. But again, both of these players, hyper tappers. not gonna be as kill screen has a different meaning these days.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of names sprucing up for it now, whether it's level 29 plus, post, thrill screen.
But to be fair, Asta's highest level is only level 29, and Pixel Andy's highest level is 35. So Andy obviously has a lot more experience there, but he is having a very awkward build right now. Can he get that piece over there? Yes. Trying to not cover up that gap all the time, but he's had no choice but to do that. Okay, Burning, he's at 28 right now, but he's down by over 100,000 points. If he is to win this game number 1, he is going to have to do some crazy play in level 29 kill screen.
Give him a long bar, come on. Oh.
And yeah, Asta's gonna take the first game. Here we go. And that already kills the streak of the reverse 3-0-3-0. So Asta taking 1 game here on Classic Tetris 2.
Oh, man. Okay, first off, Andy did have some rough droughts, and he handled them amazingly all throughout the post there. So I'm looking forward to see some of these better games from Andy, and he had the right idea setting up for those 2 Tetrises, but didn't get that second long. So, and he's in the right place. We'll see if the pieces line up for him a bit better here next game. And I really liked how he handled a lot of those situations. Regardless, Asta is bringing it, and Andy needs to be aware of that.
Yeah. Sure. Right now, Dog in the background right now, trying to give him encouraging words. Again, Andy not just seeded second here, but also second in the tournament completely last year. Second place only to his brother. But here we go. Like you said, though, if anybody can shake off a game 1 loss like that and come back and win no problem, it is going to be a player like Andy. Again, the caliber of players that we have here is just absolutely off the charts.
Definitely don't count Andy out. I feel like he's going to come back with a vengeance here.
Yeah. How is he going to handle this overhang? Finally gets the J piece that he needed over there. Sets himself a Tetris. Boom, Tetris for Andy, starting with the 92% in just a 40% right now, but it's still very early. Only 10 lines burned. So that Tetris rate right there for Asta is going to skyrocket as he continues to get more Tetrises. But he needs that Z piece. There it is. Okay, gets the Z piece finally. And boom, Tetris for Asta, up to 66% now. Nice tuck. I mean, you want to think those kind of tucks are a foregone conclusion for players of this caliber, but nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
Another one. There we go. And now he's Tetris ready. And a boom, Tetris for Asta.
Pretty close game to start. Of course, Pixel Andy with the 96% rate to start things off. So Asta's not far behind because these first 30 lines can skew things to look really crazy. But near perfect start here from Andy.
Yeah, this is important right now. Gotta get that game on the board right now for Andy. Give himself a little bit of breathing room, because if he goes down 2-0, the nerves do kick in. And as good as a player as he is, man, nerves are a killer in these kind of events.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice, Mike.
Yeah, the game 1 is one thing, but being down 2 games in this grand finals.
But again, I'm not saying this to try to discourage Andy or anything like that. Obviously, like we said earlier, he can do this. No question that he can do this. But just speaking from a purely competitive standpoint, like I said, I'm so interested, I'm so fascinated by sports psychology kind of thing, so it's something I always talk about as a factor in here, especially as a person who has played in tournaments. A lot of people watching in the chat probably have never played in a high stakes tournament environment like this, and it's terrifying.
for certain. And some people are just naturally good at dealing with nerves, right? Others, it takes some time, and like you have to be a little more seasoned. It would be like just like another day of work, right?
Right. Okay. And oh, look at this perfect clear. Drop more lines on oh wait, no, sorry, different game. Game. Yeah, and I haven't talked about it yet, but if I always talk about this whenever I do commentary for Classic Tetris, but if you come in watching this and you're kind of new to Classic Tetris World Championships and you're like, I could do this. I mean, again, look, the way that Classic Tetris plays is so different than what we know from modern Tetris standard guideline rules. I mean, I call this like the most like brutal Tetris that can exist. It is not as easy as they are making it look, believe you me. This is not easy.
And this comes from like we both love modern Tetris, right? It's a great game in its own. It's just very different, and I mean, honestly, that's how I got into it, right? It's like I was looking at this, and I'm a pretty experienced modern player. I'm like, oh, these guys aren't playing too quick. I could do this. This is not too hard. And then, after some practice, there was some frustration there. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should give these guys more respect. But yeah.
I mean, I'm a salty person in general. People who have watched me try to play some Daz on my own stream know how angry I can get. There's definitely a lot of frustration that can build up, trying to manage through this, and this is me saying as a player who is disappointed in my like 40% Tetris 99 win rate, and Classic Tetris just absolutely destroys me.
All right, so pretty strong start here for Andy. 538k at 109 lines. This is going to help him out against a player like Asta post, where their 19 versus 19 play has been pretty close. So having this 18 lead will be a good notch up for Andy in order to take game 2.
I mean, right now, Asta's still in good position, right? He's got a clean board, but he's getting a little bit of a drought here right now. There we go, finally. And boom, Tetris for Asta. And boom, Tetris for Andy, as both of them are nearing the transition. But we're going to get a boom transition, Tetris transition for Asta. And close for Andy to get that as well. He's going to be one line away from the transition now at this point. And there it is, Tetris transition for Andy as well. But Andy with a significant lead, still on an 80% Tetris rate at the transition. That is playing out of his mind right now. But again, you're a situation right now where we're getting some long bars, not when he needs it just yet. See, now would be a great time for those long bars, Jonas.
There it is.
Come on, give us those long bars. There it is. There we go. And Andy still sitting at a 77% Tetris rate at level 20. He is playing just absolutely out of his mind right now.
Tell you what, even with that 77%, Asta's not far off. They're at a 66% and only, that's a 3 or 4 Tetrises, which can definitely come into play here.
Yeah. All it takes is one bad drought, one bad RNG sequence, or just a misplacement. And that would allow Asta for a chase down here. Had a 22-piece drought, but was able to manage that just beautifully. All right, sets himself up for another Tetris. Long bar a little too early for Andy, but he's Tetris ready now. And you can see only a 40,000 point lead. It is just right there in this like virtual neck and neck here at this point.
Yeah, Andy running into a small drought here.
Although, again, Asta is ahead by about 7 to 10 lines right now. Okay, here we go. This is going to be the challenge situation right now for Asta. Can he clear this out? Yes. Getting the good pieces. Is he going to go for... Okay, oh man, again, the RNG not being particularly his best friend right now, but he should be able to handle this. But this is hurting his scoring potential right now. As you see Andy right now set up ready for he's Tetris ready. Gonna clean a little bit over there. Long bar, boom, Tetris for Andy. He's at 71% right now. He's about to max out, and he's at level 25 right now. Boom, Tetris for Andy. This is starting to get to that range where it might be insurmountable.
Yeah.
Because Asta is at level 26.
Yeah, definitely surmountable. Asta is going to want to play a really clean game, and it doesn't look like Andy slowing down is the thing. Another simul Tetris for Andy and Asta. Andy has an 81k lead over Asta, so I think Asta is becoming aware of the situation and is probably playing more aggressive than typical.
Caught himself a little bit of an awkward situation here. How is he planning to fix it? He wanted to slide that team over there. Not going to be able to get it, and there we go, Andy. Again, sitting here at level 28 with a 68% Tetris rate, max out score. Andy looking so clean there. That match right there definitely looked like he was just at home playing on his stream, chilling, no pressure at all whatsoever. As we mentioned, if there's anyone who's going to be able to make this comeback from loser's bracket, it is Andy.
Right. Great game from Andy. And, I really did like Asta's choice there. They had an option to, I believe, spin a Z piece instead of go for that T-tuck. They were not taking any burn options. They were waiting for that the greedy T-tuck into the Tetris, knowing that Andy was going to be bringing it. So good choice by Asta, just a missed execution.
Yeah, and remember, guys, if you just tuned in right now, it is indeed Andy who is in the loser's bracket. He needs to win 2 sets to be able to take this pool here. So Asta only needs to win 1 set. But if Andy continues to play like he did in that last game, we might be just shy of a reverse double sweep, but again, can't count Asta out. He's been playing amazingly as well. Like you said, even that last game, by all intents and purposes, it was a perfect game for him, but it was just knowing he was still down by so many points against Andy that he had to push himself a little bit more.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing. Asta is now in a situation, it's a best of 3 against Andy in order to take it to the top 8, right? Asta is well aware of how strong of a player and machine Pixel Andy is. Asta wants to close this out now. He does not want to go to another set.
Oh yeah. All right, Andy with a little bit of an awkward build here now. How is he going to handle this? Dude, that was actually really nicely done there. Gets the hole there for a call. Okay. Actually decides to fill out column 10 instead of column 7, I should say. And yeah, a rough start for Andy right now. This is a really, really rough start for him. Curious to see how that was nice.
Yep. Nice
little tuck. And actually, he has himself set up a dirty Tetris now. And he's going for it at this point, but here comes the drought, of course, at the worst time possible. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Okay. There we go. And he still has some more dirty Tetris setups here. So despite the fact that he's had to do some uncomfortable cleaning here, he might still be able to come out of here with a decent score. Ooh. But again, what is happening here?
No, the misspin. That's going to do it. Asta's going to take game 3. Oh, no.
I don't even think Asta's aware that it happened. Actually, he's so focused right now that I don't even think he's aware that it's happened, that Andy's already topped out. Because if you're Asta, why would you even think that there's yeah, look at him. He just realized what happened.
Oh, actually... It's the rare Andy top out on level 18. That's what Asta wants and needs in order to advance. Like, this is the ticket. If Asta can close this out, I feel like it's now or never, because I don't think Andy's going to make this easy from here on out.
Yeah, and again, look, honestly, like, we can't talk about what happened to Andy there without talking about the unfortunate RNG. It was just a really, really bad situation over there, and it definitely affected him. But 3, 2, 1... Tetris. Let's go. Okay, actually, hang on.
Okay.
Have a little bit of a technical flub over here.
Asta, go ahead and top out. We're gonna have to do a reset. It looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Asta again focused right now. If anyone can get the word over to him, if one of the judges can get in his ear or something like that, just be like, yo, stop. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, and an early top out for Asta. No, I'm just kidding. Man.
Maybe a capture card issue or something, but it's honestly good it happened right then rather than during the game. So.
Oh right. Man. Okay. All right, these guys will get started here again. Pretty sure that's Asta talking with his chat, as you guys can see on the screen at the bottom. Pixel Andy, you can go check him out on his stream right now. Pixel with the 1 instead of the I, and then the Asta Teen Effect on his channel. You can see him chatting with his stream right now, giving his thoughts and everything like that. You can check out their individual channels, but thank you for hanging out here on Classic Tetris 2 to watch this grand finals match of this pool.
Okay, both players
it is
are
Asta
ready.
versus Andy. 2-1 in the first set. Okay.
We're just getting it confirmed from the judge here. All right, let's do it. We'll have to get another countdown for potentially Andy's last game here, James, but I don't, it's hard for me to fathom Andy going down easy here.
No. Like this is just setting up the storyline here, right? For the epic comeback. Of course, as much as we want to talk about that, we do still, like I said, have to consider that RNG factor there. Definitely getting some very unfriendly pieces in the previous game. But here we go. You can see right now already having to build these peaks and valleys, which is never fun to have to deal with. And it's interesting too, because you can see that because he knows he's at the back to the wall at this point in time, and he's also playing a little more conservatively. I feel like he went for some safe burn situations instead of getting really greedy, waiting for some of those pieces, the exact pieces that he needed to fill out some of those peaks and valleys. Here we go. Boom Tetris for Andy, up to 63%, and Asta, awkward little gap there in column number 8, but he's gotten himself to 60%, actually 54% Tetris rate now. So Andy with a 1 Tetris lead at this point. And boom Tetris for Andy. So if Andy could have more games like he had in game number 2, where everything was just falling into place, and it was just like one of the most perfect games that I had seen in recent memory.
Yeah.
We can keep that up. It all just depends on what the pieces that Jonas decides to send down, right? So it's the way it works.
Even game to start here, James. Yeah, real quick. But yeah, so yeah, Andy trying to set up for that T-tuck, or he can go for the spin here. Yep, a little more conservative. No need to go too crazy here to start things off.
Yeah, and Asta here hasn't been able to get a Tetris in a little bit. Has had to do a few burns over here, but he's Tetris ready now, so that means the long bar is not going to show up. Okay, but he's got the perfect pieces to clear out that line. But again, look at this 14-piece drought. 16, 17. Where is the long bar? Yeah, he's forced to do some burning here, and now the hole is covered, and he needs a J piece. Okay, this is again, Asta will be fine, but it's just one of those curse RNG moments right there.
Yeah, speaking of, we have a pretty good lead here for Andy to start off. 281,000. Make that 300K at line 62. 80% rate.
Yeah. That's a huge lead right now for Andy, and now this is good for Andy. Just like I said, gotta have another game like he had in game number 2, and get himself tied. And if he can get tied right now, then the pressure shifts to Asta, right? Because you're like, I had him at the back against the wall. He clutched it out. Oh my goodness, can I do this? And then if the bracket resets, oof, man, that's gonna be the rough one right there.
Touches for Andy. Asta waiting for that long bar.
Pixel Andy living up to his name right now.
That's his true form.
Again.
Ready for game 4 here.
Right? Again, if people are wondering what's happening, that's a OBS Ninja Video Ninja issue that happens every once in a while. So please bear with it.
It's the online experience.
There. Yep, exactly. And again, shout outs to all of the, that was such a beautiful setup from Andy there. I need to, that's the thing, is like in modern Tetris, that's not a move that you use a lot. That's not an overhang that you create a lot. So, I don't spot it as much, but when you play a lot of the classic Tetris, you definitely see those kind of setups a lot more. And so every time I see them do that, I'm always like, oh, that was so smart.
Yeah. Love to see it. Okay. Tetris in a row there for Asta. Closing closing the gap ever so slightly.
Yeah, down to 50,000 at this point. It's about 2 Tetrises behind. There you go. Now only 1 Tetris behind, but 10 lines ahead. So actually, the lead is still a little bit more than 50,000. The true lead, I should say.
Ooh, little adjustment there for Andy. I'd like to see it. Decides to get Tetris ready there.
Yeah.
A little bit late to make that decision. Hopefully, you don't want to overthink things too much here. Be confident.
All right, but here's the drought. Just in time for the being Tetris ready.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way it works, man. There we go. Finally, boom, Tetris for Andy. And despite that drought, still at a 72% Tetris rate. And now a 73% Tetris rate. Gave himself an L piece requirement there, but you can see him filling out that right side there in a way that's easily cleanable.
Yeah.
So won't be a problem. Although now he has given himself a J piece requirement now. So he's not going to risk it. He's just going to clean it out at this point in time. Nice last second adjustment. There we go. Not quite Tetris ready yet, but not the best transition. Nice. But actually, that'll clean it up. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
It was a little sketchy and not the way you want to go. I would say it's scary given how that parity was, but fixes it up. It's Tetris ready. Ooh, doesn't get far left.
Yeah, so he's going for the triple to lower the stack so he can get the long bar over to the left with no stress, especially for a hyper tapper. And boom, Tetris for Andy. And now Asta here. He's already at level 21, getting a little bit of, got a burn there. Okay, great micro adjustment at the very, very last second. Burning again. Okay, he's Tetris ready, but where is that long bar?
Oh, he's going for it.
That long bar is not sure. There it is, finally. Okay, he's going to be able to live, but look at what it's done to his stack.
Yeah, Andy can definitely get a little bit more of a lead here. Wants to take it to decider. Asta needs to just get it down and at least survive if they want to.
Yeah. Oh, boy. He needs another long bar. Yeah, he's not going to wait for it. Hyper tapping. As if his life depended on it, because it kind of does right now.
So far, so good.
Yeah, he's been able to survive this. Beautiful. Got finally to that column 8. Can he fill up that column 8, though? That's the problem right now. Not getting the pieces that he needs to be able to clean that out easily. And now, see, he's got that awkward situation over there in column 8 and 9. Gets through it, though. But again, this whole entire time, look at the lead that Andy has built up.
Yeah.
Andy can actually, I don't want to say he can play conservatively, but he can definitely play a little more conservatively.
Yeah, we know Andy's a very seasoned player. We know he's aware of the situation and will make the adjustments as necessary, but doesn't have to go too hard. He's got a 180k lead. And
Asta going for 30 Tetris and he got it. Boom, Tetris for Asta. And now back to the, he knows he has to be aggressive. Yeah. But then he got the SZ spam right when he started going aggressive. Wrong timing, but it's gonna pay off. Boom, Tetris for Asta. How is he gonna continue playing this out? Yes, he's still gonna go for the column 9, but column 9 is the hardest one because it creates a double requirement for eyepieces.
Yeah. And it's not coming. Oh, he doesn't get it. You know what that means, James? We're about to head into a decider between Andy and Asta.
Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. It's down to a decider, but of course this is still only the first set, which means if Andy wins this, he only reset the bracket and the score will go back to 0-0 and he'll have to take another set. But if Asta wins this, because he is coming from the winner's side of the bracket, if Asta wins this next game, he will qualify as one of the November 8. It's all, oh man. Here we go. Game number 5, set 1, the decider.
This is a very pivotal game right here. Asta could take it home.
4, 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Okay. Decider between these two players. Again, if you are just tuning in, Andy in the loser side bracket, sent to losers by Asta. So this is actually a run back from earlier in this tournament. Pixel Andy trying to get his revenge.
Yeah, okay. I feel Asta wants to close this. Obviously wants to close this out now, but yeah. I'd be worried for Asta taking it to a second set. So, we'll see though. I mean, they've colored me surprised so far this tournament, right? I mean, they took the set already against Pixel Andy. That was a decider. So, you know, maybe if it does go to a set 3, it's potential to still be close. So, either way, you know, Andy needs to play like his life depends on it, and Asta just wants to end it now.
Yeah, and like you said, went to a decider last time, so honestly that's a huge boon for Asta, knowing that he was able to clutch it out in decider on the winner's side of the bracket, so knows that he can do it again here. Starting out with a pretty even Tetris rate. Nice little tuck right there for Asta. How is he? Not gonna kill him, but again, just, you know, as a Tetris player, every time you see something like that happen, it's hard not to just go, oh!
Right. Handled it pretty calmly there. And, I mean, if anything, you just know you're giving a little bit more of a score lead to Andy, who's not stopping. So
right.
60K lead for Andy.
Yep. 80% Tetris rate for Andy right now. Asta at a 63% rate, though, so they're still both at max out pace. So definitely not a problem right now for Asta. Just, you know, has to wait for a drought to happen for Andy. But if Andy has any games like he did in game number 2, that's not gonna, no drought is gonna hurt him. Okay, how is Asta gonna fill out that column off to the side? Not gonna be able to get a Tetris yet. There we go. Look at all these long bars for Asta. Unfortunately, only able to use one of them for the Tetris, but he's Tetris ready again. 61% still. Boom, Tetris for Asta. Pixel Andy right now. There we go. Cleans up that. Gets the, you know, tucks that piece nice and neatly in there. Oh, what a nice rotation at the last second by Andy to still get that Tetris.
And again, we got that 300K by the 60 line mark. I feel like that's always a great, when you have the over 300K at 60 lines, you're like, yep, I'm killing it right now.
And like I said, if he can maintain a game like he had in game number 2, but the saw teeth right there, the jagged layout is always like one of the worst layouts that you could have, and he had that 4 wide column jagged saw teeth basically at that point. So
yeah, sawtooth. I call it a peg. I just think of a peg when I see that formation. Yeah, looking like Andy handled it pretty well, and maintaining that crazy near 400K at 75 lines ish.
Interesting decision right there by Andy. And now, you can see this right now, Asta slowly catching up in terms of the Tetris rate. Has to do a little burning there, gets himself Tetris ready.
Yeah, in this matchup, I feel like Asta is more, they're keeping up. Like, they're hitting pretty consistent 65 to 70% Tetris rate, right? Or slow and steady, whereas Andy will push for that extra, you know, extra efficiency.
There we go. Boom, Tetris for Asta, setting himself a tuck here. He needs to find the piece. Okay, that'll do one of them right there. The TP should oh, actually, he's going to cover the middle. Probably a smarter decision. Yeah, could have forced himself away from that Tetris, get himself a triple. Let's see if he starts going for a row 2 Tetris now. Yep, that's definitely what he's doing.
Yeah, especially if you can not cover up right over the well there. You can transfer perfectly, but had to put that D piece right over it. Oh, there we go. Perfect transition.
Oh, dang, that was perfect. Andy also trying to get himself Tetris ready. Yep, Tetris ready, and there's the eyepiece just in time. 80% Tetris rate for Andy right now. And boom, Tetris for Andy. He is definitely having one of those games. He is focused in there right now. Oh, look at these pieces that Andy's getting over here. That was perfect, filling out all those gaps that he had.
Yeah, and he's already hit 600K. He could hit us with another Tetris here. It'd be close to 650. He has room for 2 Tetrises if he doesn't burn. Oh, Asta with a rough hang. Oh, he hangs up.
No, and there it is. There it is, the reset for Andy. Andy starting to set up the comeback. Here it is. Is this good? Is this going to be Rocky 1 or Rocky 2? What are we getting here?
Or Rocky 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know.
Well, we don't talk about those as much. So
I'm sorry to bring that up to you, but all right, yeah, great game. Andy does take this first set of the grand finals, forcing a reset. But here, let's give him that heart, just to, you know, let him bathe in the fact that he got 3 hearts for a moment before I delete them. And we're gonna head to the reset, and this is the true final here, James.
Here we go, Andy, Asta, poised again. It's 0-0 again. The scores have been reset, as you can see, all empty hearts at the bottom of the screen.
All right, we're gonna go with the true final here. Both players are ready. Andy versus Asta. Group F Finals, CTWC 2021. Let's do it.
You said on this stream here, it was always been the player coming from the loser's bracket and making the comeback. Although Andy might not do it as a 3-0-3-0, he has the potential to do this and, you know, almost like bring balance back to the world, you know? Yeah. But, you know, Asta definitely here, not going to go easily. Very strong player, obviously very capable of taking out Andy as he did earlier in this very tournament.
Man, imagine being Asta. Asta was on the brink of getting to that top 8 for the first time.
Yeah.
Andy wants to make it back, probably to play his brother. And I'm kind of curious on where, if Andy does advance from here, I'm curious on how his seeding would play out, because seeding depends on how you do in your group. So maybe there would be an earlier Dog versus Andy than the grand finals. Obviously, they would want to be on the opposite side of the bracket, I think, to support each other.
Right. Here you go. Boom, Tetris for Andy, sitting at that 84% Tetris rate. And Asta dropping down a little bit, has to do a little bit of cleaning, has a little bit of a drought to deal with here. Okay, creates an overhang, and now an unfortunate square piece there, but actually going to work out just fine with the cleanup right there. But he needs to start filling out that the columns on the side over there, and perfect. And he's going to get the Tetris as well. Boom, Tetris for Asta, bringing himself back to a 66% Tetris rate. And Andy at a 68% Tetris rate. And you can see right now, kind of an unfortunate build situation for Andy here. though the good news is that not back against the wall at this point. Boom, Tetris for Andy. If he can just get that column 4 cleaned up right there, he'll be back to a neutral play field. And there he goes.
Route.
Interesting. Forced himself into a double overhang like that. Let's see how he's going to fill that out. Has to do it with 2 eyepieces. Okay. And now he has a 2 eyepiece reliance to get a clean field at this point. Ooh.
Chucking those squares to the right. Probably the best option. Let's burn through pretty quick. There we go, Tetris.
Yep. But that has allowed Asta to basically have a higher Tetris rate, only by 3%. So
very close.
Not even significant. Not a significant number there. Ooh, beautiful setup for Asta for the T-spin. Send an extra couple of lines over to Andy's side. Here we go. Asta trying to get himself set up for another Tetris. Just, oh, perfect, perfect. Got the L piece to just squeeze in there from the forced column situation that he had to set himself up. And boom, Tetris for Asta. Look at this, jumping his Tetris rate to 76%. And Andy with a little bit of a drought here. Nice burn, but again, the RNG not being very friendly, forced himself into a couple of bad gaps that he's had to build in column 2 and in column 8.
Build choice there with Asta's S piece. Oh, they can't get the L to the far right.
Oh no, okay. Actually now all Andy has to do, just play calm, get a couple of singles. Okay, now there we go. Set himself up for a Tetris.
There it is.
Gets the I bar, and boom, Andy has officially taken the lead over Asta here. Remember, this is the bracket reset, and now he's up 1 game to none.
Oh, man. Asta's ready. And he's just getting that water.
He wants to jump back in.
Yeah.
He's like, let's get back in this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Kind of a similar error to how he lost at the end of the decider, right? Just a mistap on the right. For the most part, I feel we see Asta not go overly aggressive. Maybe it's because of his tap speed. Yeah, when he gets caught up high there, he can pretty much spell game over.
All right, here it is again. Andy, the man was sent to losers bracket by Asta. Asta was the man who did send him to the losers bracket. Asta trying to repeat that feat and get another victory here over Pixel Andy. Can he pull this off? Game 1 going to Andy. Now, here we go, game 2. Gonna be able to tuck that L piece to the side. Yep, beautiful. And yep, there he goes. Gonna go for the burn right there to open up the well for the Tetris. Boom, Tetris for Andy. And oh no. Awkward build here again for Asta. Is gonna have to do a lot of cleaning up. This is going to give Andy a chance to build a pretty nice lead here.
Yeah.
It's an early lead though, so it's not going to be insurmountable or anything like that.
It does add up, but not how you want to start off. It is only the first 20 lines, but sometimes those first 20 lines will come back to haunt you if the game goes the distance.
Yep. Oh, here we go. Asta getting his playfield nice and clean now. Knows that he has to be a little aggressive right now just to kind of make up for that start right there. But there we go, boom, to a 28% Tetris rate right now. So you can see how that start has affected him. Of course, it is very early. It's 32 lines, so every Tetris will skyrocket that percentage up. But here we go. Got himself Tetris ready. Meanwhile, Andy, 82% Tetris rate.
Yeah, a bit of that's kind of an odd eye placement vertically there for Andy. But is now Tetris ready, waiting for that long bar.
Which of course means time for the draw.
Right.
Oh no, there it is. Okay, we got a tuck there, and Asta hasn't fixed it yet. There we go. Finally gets the fix, and that should make him Tetris ready now. Now he's just waiting for the long bar at this point. There it is. Boom, Tetris for Asta. One block away, but look at this. Here we go. The line bar. It's raining line bars, which is great for Asta right now.
But Asta needs to get caught up here in the Tetris rate. Not doing too shabby. Still at a high 50s here, but you want to hit 60 plus at least. This is
yeah, just to get that max out pace. Yeah. And speaking of max out pace, 80% Tetris rate still for Andy. And now we've got a drought. We've got a drought for Asta, so he's had to do a lot of burns here. Up to down to a 53% Tetris rate, I should say.
Yeah.
He was close to 60.
Andy's always very good about getting setting up those delayed burns on the far right, like knowing that if he goes for setting up these weird dependencies, it'll jeopardize his board. He just patient, sets up those far right placements in order to do some quicker, more methodical, guaranteed burns.
Andy having trouble filling out that column 8 and 7 and 8, but finally got it right there. Boom, Tetris for Andy. Still at a 76%. Asta back up to almost a 60%. Again, 60% is max out pace. Okay, got himself a square gap there. Oh, and then just got the square piece, of course.
Naturally.
Could have burned that a little bit differently to have gotten to that gap a little earlier. But he should be okay. Yeah, it's gonna set down the J piece there. Oh, one piece too early for the Tetris. Now where's the long bar? Where's the long bar? He's gonna have to burn. He has to burn, and he's in a situation right now where that hole is covered right now. And there's the long bar. Not quite when he needed it.
There we go. Still not out of it just yet.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Cleans it out now. Where's the long bar? Where's the long bar? Yeah, gotta do the cleaning because you can tell right now the RNG is not in his favor right now. Look at this, another drought. Every time he manages to clean out and get himself Tetris ready, here comes the drought. But he's doing a lot of burns right now, so I got to imagine once we can see his Tetris rate again, he'll definitely have plummeted. But look at this, a 34, 35 piece drought.
Yeah, it's not what he needs right now. There we go.
Finally. Oh man, 42% rate now. 42% rate. Brutal on that Tetris rate. Meanwhile, Andy still sitting at 75%, still just calmly chugging along here.
And he's got to be feeling good about this pace lead right now. Looking like he's going to approach the 600k mark going into the transition. While Asta is about to transition with 431k.
Transition one block shy of getting to Tetris. So it's going to stack the I piece to the left, but there we go. Boom. Tetris for Asta. All right. This is it for Asta now.
Asta's going to have to throw down.
Some awkward burns there, and yeah, it's always a tough situation where you have to drop the I bar to fix a too deep column, you know, single wide, but it creates another one. So it's like, dang it.
We have some really subtle adjustments going on from Asta noticed so far in the transition. Just nothing too crazy, just some minor adjustments to make up for these upcoming pieces, and trying to close this gap. Still behind by 137k.
Yeah, because the RNG has not been kind. The RNG has not been kind, and you can see over there in columns 1, 2, and 3, that is just not a comfortable build at this point. Gonna take the triple, but still, look at that, the Z piece. He needs the S, and they keep giving him the Z.
I see them go.
With the triple, basically, right?
Yeah.
He might have just not saw it. sometimes your eyes are so focused on one half of the
Oh,
board
right.
that
Yes,
you
it's
miss.
easy for me to say, and I miss things all the time when I'm playing, trust me.
Dude, it's crazy, right? Like when you have the ability to just stare at the whole board and be like, doo, 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 it's like, oh, you should have did this.
Right, yeah.
Oh man. That wasn't me trying to call you out.
No, not by any means, yeah. Asta would handedly take me, I'm sure.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh wow, is he gonna maybe set himself up? No, okay, just gets the triple. Just a little
Honestly,
shy
I
of
might
getting
have. Look at this pace lead for Andy here.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't even notice. 200, almost a 300,000 lead. He's still at 68%. Andy is poised right now. He might not have 3-0'd the first set, but he is on pace to try to do that over here. Look at him. He is firing on all cylinders.
Oh yeah.
If I can use a generic sports term here.
It says it's the long bar dependency, but you're gonna go for it.
Oh god, where's that long bar? Come on, long bar. All right, forget it, yeah.
Yeah, you better take
You even
those
see
first there.
Andy smiling a little bit there too. He's like, all right, game, I see you.
But even now is becoming insurmountable. I believe it is already, but we'll see what Asta can do. I don't see Asta having too strong of a 29 post play, but
Yeah, I mean, again, even looking at the stat sheets, 29 is the highest level he's ever got. So he doesn't have the experience of digging into level 30s and such. So this lead from Andy is just ridiculous. Andy is about to max out and take a 2-0 lead. There's the kill screen. Nothing doing. I think Andy's probably just going to play until he maxes out. And there you go. Boom, max out for Andy. And you know what? Just going to practice this while he's here, right? Why not?
no one's upset when
perfectly
you go for them all in on 29.
Yeah, this is this is in your right to do this. So, but there you go. Okay.
GG. So here's a bit of a swap here, James. Andy's on the brink of victory, whereas Asta was before. Andy, you're looking to take it this time. Will Asta be able to run it back here?
Boy, okay. Here we go. This is now, the pressure is all on Asta's side. And I just want to say this even before we get to this game. If Asta cannot make this comeback, I mean, what a run by this guy. It's been amazing. He's been playing absolutely fantastic. Probably some of the best play that he's probably felt himself have. But again,
that matters.
Don't count him out just yet.
The chair, waiting for the chair to ready up here.
Yeah, you can see right now Asta just wants to jump back in here, but you know, this might actually be good for Asta. Give himself a chance to breathe, calm down just a little bit here.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know that's what you need.
I love the fact that people have chair emotes in the chat. It's amazing.
You have a classic Tetris 2 chair and then a classic. Oh, that's enough.
Yeah.
A lot of chairs. All right, let's fix pixelated Andy here real quick, and we'll get started.
Or maybe unfix him, as we said. Pixel Andy is his true form. But yeah, he's definitely, I think, having some issues with this capture card. You can see right there, his field has disappeared a little bit here. And again, these are just standard online issues that, you know, happen every once in a while. Again, man, this is not easy to do, man. This is not an easy thing to do. So shout outs to everybody here, to all the people behind the scenes running this as well. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. And this is it. This could be the last game here. Asta with his back against the wall. But like we said, he was the one who sent Andy to losers. So definitely could pull this off as well. Sets up a tuck, nicely done. And boom, Tetris for Asta to start here. And boom, Tetris for Andy. Both of them with very clean play fields right now. Boom, Tetris for Andy. Asta having to go with a couple of burns over there. Has a little bit of an awkward peak in the middle of the field, but able to clear through that if he can just get another J piece. There it is. Okay, forcing himself into a couple of burns over here. Gonna set himself a gap that he's gonna beautifully clean out with that T piece. Nice. But now, fighting a 30-piece drought? No, okay, not quite 30, but there you go. Boom. Tetris for Asta, 54% rate. T-spin for Andy. There we go. And boom, another Tetris for Andy, getting himself up to 71% Tetris rate.
Asta also firing with the Tetris of their own around that same time, and still pretty early here, and Asta is keeping within reach here of Andy. Nothing too, no big misdrops or anything. Just I think over the span of 18 here, we'll have RNG play out for both players, but it tends to even out if you're playing well.
Tetris, finally the J piece for Asta to be able to get into that column 4. Now he's Tetris ready once again with a very neutral play field. Andy having to do a little burn, a couple of tucks here. I'm surprised he didn't tuck that T piece over there. He's going to do so now, but now forcing himself into a little clean. Nice decision right there to set up that I piece fitting in over there. Oh, that was nice too.
Yeah, I like that. That was a clever burn. And here we go. Here he's setting that square to the far right, right? It looked like an odd placement in the moment, but look, going to be 2 burns. 2 burns to settle that, rather than trying to set up any dependencies, which will create more holes.
Yep. Boom, Tetris for Andy. So he's back in it now. If he could just get the J piece. He's just looking for the J piece right now.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
RNG, please.
Take that, yeah. Double long bar. There you go.
Oh, nice. There we go. And gets the Tetris and cleans his plate field at the same time. All right. Things looking good. Asta, however, matching at the pace right now, 65 to 68% rate. All right, yep, got a double eyepiece requirement now. Looking for another eyepiece to stick into that column 8 over there. I'm sorry, column 7. And yeah, this is not. Oh, okay, he's gonna be able to burn. He can get a triple here. How's he gonna play this out right now? Not the right. There we go. There's a burn right there. There's another burn. He's gonna be able to drop the eyepiece in there and set himself at least the double LJ requirement there. And now he's Tetris ready. Meanwhile, on Pixel Andy's side, having a little bit of a tough time here with that build. Nope. Okay, he's clean. Now he just needs the long bar. There it is. Boom. Simul Tetris for both players to be at basically 60% Tetris rate. So this one is a neck and neck.
What we want. We want Asta to bring Andy to that decider. Who wouldn't love a decider, super decider, as you said earlier? So I really am hoping for Asta to bring it there and generate all the hype possible.
Yeah, for sure. We're all just fans. We want to see as much good Tetris as possible.
Right, exactly. I'm biased for hype. I'm biased for, crazy games, and
exactly.
Who doesn't like a good decider?
I'm biased for hype. I like that. There you go. I'm gonna definitely repeat that many times. Double eyepiece requirement, but that's a dirty Tetris setup that he got it for himself now. I'm talking about Andy's screen, of course. It's crazy how much when you focus on one player's screen, you just don't even see the other screen. It's wild. Here we go. Pixelated Andy. Yeah, Pixel Andy is gonna go for the triple right there to clean that out. Gets the J piece, and now with that S piece is Tetris ready.
I think
boom.
This is one of our closest transition. I feel like typically we have a pretty handedly, or usually Andy or Asta has a pretty good lead going into transition, but it's looking like it's gonna be neck and neck.
Yep, right here, 5 more lines for Asta, just 6 more lines for Andy, and you can see just about basically a 1.5 Tetris lead, I would say, for Asta. Gonna have to do a little bit of burning here. He knows the transition is coming in 2 lines. 1 line now. And he wants to transition cleanly. If he can get a transition on a Tetris to lower the stack on the transition, nope, he's not going to get that. But still, the eyepiece comes anyway and gives him virtually a Tetris transition. Perfect pieces for Asta to clear out that well on the right. Again, he's Tetris ready. But again, another mini drought. Andy transitioning, of course, as well. Look at this. They are on pace. Only 3,000 points separate them. They are about equal in lines and in Tetris rate. They are both at exactly 63%. So here we go. This last game right here, proving to us to have a really, really close match here. Yeah, can't fish for that eyepiece over there. Andy gonna start doing some burns. So at this point in time, I think Asta's gonna get a lead here with a slightly higher Tetris rate, just by 2%.
It's really gonna be heating up here. Like you said, just about the same Tetris rate, Asta with a slight lead, but Andy can throw down. Neither player is breaking composure here. This is definitely looking like a recipe for double max, as for what I'm watching.
That's how it finished. You said in their first decider in the winner side of the bracket, right? You said it was a double max out, and they're on pace for that here again. There's a long bar boom Tetris for Asta. And then
Andy.
Boom Tetris for Andy. They're neck and neck.
Let's do it. Anybody's game right now.
All right, here we go. Now Andy with an official lead, but just by
By a hair.
a few thousand points.
Literally 1 line in the future with about 4K, so it's anybody's game right now.
Yeah. Nice little burn right there. Burn, but got himself an eyepiece requirement. But actually, that's a dirty Tetris setup now. If he can just get the long bar. Oh no, he gave up the ghost right when the long bar came. The classic.
Not too bad of a cleanup. Every line counts right now. Andy covers the well, so he's going to run into his own burns, giving Asta a chance if he gets a long bar. There it is, a little late, but oh, Andy gets to column 3.
Yeah. Dang, that's so important to get a column 3 Tetris while cleaning up like this. But he does have an awkward left side Tetris right now set up. He has to get a couple of those eyepieces to be able to burn through there. But where are they?
He barely gets at the far left, then gets a long bar to the far left. That was close. And another one.
Go, boom. And he's gonna keep going for it. He's gonna keep going for it. He wants to build this lead. But this is the kind of pressure that Asta is putting on him,
Asta's going for that
him
column,
into this.
Yeah, column 6 setup for Asta, because Asta wants 0 burns right now.
Both of them pushing each other to these really, really crazy, dirty Tetrises.
Oh, Asta
and he's gonna get it. Boom! Oh. There we go. Both of them at level 29.
Oh, Andy does it.
A double max out, and dude, it's gonna come down to just about 40,000 points, both of them getting to the kill screen. Andy with the 3-0 completion here in the losers bracket, and being sent to the losers bracket in round number 2 on winner's side by Asta, coming all the way back and winning 2 sets against Asta to qualify into the November top 8. Andy is back where he belongs.
What a close final here. Obviously, we have the 3-0 for this final set, but what I mean is Asta, putting Andy into the losers bracket, and then on the brink of taking out Andy with that. I believe Asta had the 2-1 lead at some point, almost taking Andy out. But man, what a set, and what a finals set. And Andy will move on from Group F to get to the top 8.
Dude, absolutely insane play from both players. And we were talking about it, how you could see towards the end over there, both players going for, continuing the left well Tetris, trying to get that column 3, column 4 Tetris. I forgot which one it was, but they knew the position that they were in, that they had to go for it. And there was no pushing on the brakes at all. And that's just again, that's the level of play. You go back maybe 5 years ago, you had the situation where someone has a big lead and kind of coast their way, but there's no coasting in the CTWC anymore at all. And there you see Pixel Andy from the losers bracket being sent there by Asta in round number 2, but coming all the way back and qualifying into the November 8. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna try to get Asta in here first for the interview for second place as the top 16 finalists, and then we're gonna have a discussion here with Pixel Andy about how we felt about today's games. And I'm sure both players probably have a bit of a story to tell because there was a lot of emotions at play and a lot of tense moments, like Asta be on the brink of getting in the top 8, and also sending Andy down to the bottom there. So.
Right.
Great group today here, James.
Yeah, and it looks like Andy went 26. Average losing score was 795,000, basically 796,000 points. Asta went 11 and 10. So getting to grand finals, but you see how close every one of Asta's matches have been. 11 to 10 average losing score, 700,000 points. Man. And yeah, again, shout outs to both of these players. Amazing stuff. You can see we've got Asta on the screen here, but gonna wait for just a second here for those of you on the stream.
Okay, so I believe we have Astatine Effect in our chat right now. Asta, are you with us? Are you able to speak?
Oh, I don't hear him just yet.
Might have to get the right permissions here, but
just me. Don't worry, guys. We'll get this in for you guys. Streaming is a cobbled up production with Discord and OBS Ninja and OBS and capture cards, and
there's a lot going on here.
For sure. We'll get you guys in there in just a second.
Hello, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
So we got Asta here as our top 16 finals, still taking home $250 after some crazy games. Asta, what a finals, and you were on the brink of making it there too. But how are you feeling after those tense sets with Andy?
Oh man, I'm really shaking right now. Super fun games. I mean, those are probably the most fun games I've ever played in my life. I did not expect to get this far. I just wanted to, like, my main goal at the beginning was to like play Andy and then get this far. Fun games.
But I mean, honestly, despite obviously you wanted to get to the top 8 and such, but fell one match short. But still, I got to imagine that had to have been like, you've got to feel good about your performance here today.
Yeah, I cannot complain. I played out of my mind. I mean, I practiced like yesterday night, and I played nowhere near as like good as this. So I'm so excited with my performance here.
Yeah, at least it happened when it mattered. I feel like a lot of players can be hit or miss depending on the day. For Tetris, it's just the way it is. And fortunately for you, it was a hit today because you sent Pixel Andy to the losers with I think that was a great decider match with double max. You had a near 1.1 correct. So crazy games today, Asta, and very consistent play. I feel like you barely put yourself into situations where you had to really work too hard to dig yourself out. So also very clever play prior to level 29, right? Just knowing when to burn and to play aggressive depending on going up against Pixel Andy. I do have one question for you real quick. So it said you're an ice cream scooper. If I'm
yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
So at my work, I would have to say my favorite, it's kind of like a rocky road. I'm kind of basic. It's a chocolate ice cream, marshmallow ripple, chocolate covered peanuts, and chocolate chips. It's godlike.
That sounds...
All right, I'm going out to get some ice cream after this.
Yeah.
Man. But I mean, like, obviously, this is your best performance at CTWC, right?
Yes.
And does this just make you want to push even harder for next year? Consider maybe even trying to learn some rolling or anything like that? How does this set you up for 2022?
So I think I'm gonna keep working on my stacking. I'm definitely not gonna take up rolling. I just don't have the desire to. But I think I'm gonna practice my stacking. I think in the that last set there against Andy, I think that my play was uncharacteristically like just aggressive. I never go
Mhm.
aggressive. I think for all my sets today, I've
Mhm.
played a pace where like I wasn't going too aggressive. I was playing really passive and just kind of waiting to see what the opponent does. I was always a really big fan of Jonas's gameplay, while where like he would just try to like I don't know keep pace with his opponent, keep a
Right.
good stack, and then whenever they top out or if he needs to go more aggressive, that's what he would do. And so that's just what I tried to emulate, and it
Mhm.
worked, and just didn't work out here in the end. So
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
close to
I was
working.
commenting on the match that it felt like you guys were pushing each other into
yeah,
like column 3 dirty Tetrises and stuff
yeah,
like that. So, but again, I mean, the fact that you were able to keep up pace sent him to losers bracket in an upset. Again, excellent play. Really exciting to watch.
I appreciate it. Yeah, huge GGs to Andy. He played out of his mind. It
Yeah.
was super fun playing him. I think we played a total of what, like 9 games or close to that. So I don't know.
Mhm.
Super fun games.
All right, Asta, I think that should do it. And yeah, definitely great games today. I'll probably be going through the VOD and looking through some of those moments. I think your first set with Pixel Andy was one of the better sets of the group today. And
Oh yeah.
um,
And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, really honestly looking forward to see you, obviously come back strong next year in the qualifiers and everything like that. And maybe next time you can take out Andy and complete the upset.
Hopefully, yeah. uh,
but yeah, congrats on the 250. And until next time, hopefully, maybe I'll see you on TEC. I remember seeing you there before for some Tetris Effect Connected. But if not, then, I'll see you hopefully in some competition soon within the Classic Tetris community.
sounds good. Thank you, and I appreciate the commentary, guys. It hyped up the matches really well.
Yep, thanks.
All right.
With that, we're going to go to Pixel Andy, who is not currently here. We're going to have to find
No
him.
Pixel Andy. That's
Yeah.
what we have right now. So we'll get him
I
in
have
here
his
for you
link
guys
here.
in just a second.
It's, also need to get him here in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Got to talk to the champ himself. At least the champ of Group F. Not quite CTWC champ, but he's getting there.
Yeah, not quite yet. Do we actually have a graphic that shows where everybody is going to go into the top 8 by any chance? Do we have like a seed graphic on that by any chance? Because I would love to see.
Yet. I
Okay.
would love to see that as well. I know we had something like that last year. Maybe that is something I could pull up. I'm not sure where that would be. Linked it to me.
Love to see where Andy is in relation, of course, to
Yeah.
Dog. Hard not to talk about that, considering that they're brothers. They were grand finals, had matches across the world, and then grand finals was a match across the hall. Still, one of the greatest things there. Looks like Adam might have given us.
Maybe you can find it
over
through
here.
there.
Oh yeah, there we go. So Dog and Pixel are on the same side of the bracket. So Dog and Andy are on the same side of the bracket. They're one match apart from each other, but if they both win their first matches, yes, indeed, they will play against each other in the second round. So no holding out to the grand finals. They're on a collision course to go up against each other in round number 2 if they both win. But apparently that could change. Okay, hang on a second. So Adam telling me that could change. So definitely not set in stone. All right, so never mind. Do not quote me on that. So depending on how the players do every day, they could bump people around. So we'll see how that changes.
Okay, I'm trying to get nice here. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah,
exactly how we wanted to look for the VOD. So cue the interview. Please welcome Andy to the main event. Pixel Andy, you threw down pretty hard there, and especially in that final set with a handedly taking out Asta with a 3-0. But how are you feeling after those games today?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting that much from Asta. Like,
yeah,
I knew he was good, but I mean, like, he played super consistent there. Like, it actually really shocked me how good that he played there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, how much pressure and nerves did you feel after being sent to the losers bracket? Second seed here, second place last year. Obviously, a lot of people looking at you to go very far, even in the top 8 as well. And so, Did that add a lot of pressure to you, or did you feel like you still had a good chance of taking the pool?
Well, I mean, a lot of people were underrating the players in my bracket. Like, I know some people in the community were just saying, Andy sweeps here. Andy's gonna take first seed with this bracket, but like, no, they actually played super consistent. And a lot of these players were just super underrated tappers that nobody's seen before.
100%. I'll be honest, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I expected you to be the clear favorite, but you had some pretty good matchups, and especially with Asta, as we saw. Asta was kind of a dark horse there for a moment and bringing some consistent play. Not anything like super aggressive like we saw from Moja, but just a very consistent, like 60 to 70% Tetris rate across the board, just really making you push for it. Yeah, that's a great dynamic match to see, because I feel like you each push each other at certain phases of the game.
Yeah. Like in that last game over there, you were you had a chance to clean out the left well Tetrises, but you just kept going with it. I mean,
Dude, I was getting droughted kind of hard in the sets against Asta, so I was scared that with that left well I might have lost.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, look, again, obviously players don't want to use RNG as a blame, but you were getting some of those games out there where RNG was not being nice.
I'm not going to blame RNG, but in the first match versus Asta, like where he sent me to losers, in that last game, I had like 66 bars in the kill screen.
Oh, no. I'll have to rewatch it, because, you did have some segments that were tough.
Yeah, like one of the first or second matches of this grand finals bracket, I had 71 long bars in the kill screen, so I got some pretty bad RNG, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna blame it.
It tends to balance out, but definitely in the moment, it's hard not to get frustrated when you see that stat piercing at you. So
you were at a position where you were at a decider game in the first set. And I mean, how nervous were you doing that during that? And once you did reset the bracket, did you just feel like it was just going to be smooth sailing from that point forward?
Once I reset the bracket, I definitely gained a lot more confidence. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I early topped out that game and it put Asta into a lead 2-1 against me,
that was rough.
I was actually super nervous. Like, I thought I was gonna lose just because of how I was playing that day. I mean, today, but yeah.
Well, fortunately, you were able to, bring it together, and Asta did run into a top out right before the transition on that game 5 on the first final set.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
I do have to ask one thing though. We often see Dog running around in the background over there. Is he talking smack to you, or is he actually giving you encouragement?
Nah, he's just encouraging me. Making sure I'm not doing any stupid placements.
Okay.
Or like
he's not doing his brotherly duty. He needs to do his brotherly duty and talk smack the whole time.
I don't know.
That's a good brotherly duty. Like Pixel Andy said, he said stupid placements. So maybe Dog brought up stupid placements. So it's like backhanded compliments. You know what I mean? So, who knows?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great form of support.
Just pointing out everything that I'm doing bad.
Yeah.
I mean, how excited are you though for the potential to maybe have another Dog versus Andy finals in the grand finals? Is that something that you really, really want to see happen again?
Of course. I mean, with all of this new talent though, it's going to be really hard.
Oh yeah.
There are some super great players right now. And with rolling being a thing as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying with that. Maybe I'll be a roller by November 14th.
Yeah, I mean, look, you are a player who transitioned from Daz to hyper tapping, and that has obviously upped your game. Is rolling something that you are considering learning at this point?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm going to try to learn rolling. It's just so fast. You can do so much on kill screen with it.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna get to a point where rollers are gonna be like how tappers are to Daz players. I can already see it. So. It's not like that right now, but in the future.
Yeah, I think more rollers will definitely come into play, especially after seeing more players utilize it and showing the potential of it. I don't know. It looks really fun too. I bet if you get rolling down and having that confidence going into the post or level 29 plus, it's got to feel great. All right, and
yeah, congratulations again on pulling off the comeback there, getting sent to losers bracket in round 2, but coming all the way back, resetting the bracket against the person who sent you to losers and taking it. We will definitely be seeing you in November, so congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Big congrats to you, Andy, and hopefully, I hope for some good games in the top 8. And hopefully you're on the opposing side of your brother, just for the sake of hype. And
yeah,
we'll see where you land right now. I think you are actually right above Richie in terms of seeding. So that would net you like a potential 6 or 7, which could be, if a dog is 1 or 2, you might be on the other side at that point. But we'll see how that pans out. It's hard to say.
We'll see.
Yep. But great games today, Andy. And thanks for chatting with us. And yeah, James, any last words here?
No, they're just congratulations and great job. And like I said, we will see you in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
See you in the main event.